I like traveling around and talking to folks about community and different things because it's not just an opportunity for me to share what Facebook and what we're doing, but it's an opportunity for me to hear how different folks are thinking about things around the country and around the world, and for me to learn as well. So let's kick it off. I know folks wrote in with a bunch of great questions, and I'm curious to hear what all you guys are thinking about. So thank you.
All right, great, Mark. We'll go ahead and get started. Remember, students, to raise your hands, and we'll take the first question. Right here.
Good morning, Mr. Zuckerberg. My name is Dilissa Jordan. I'm a psychology student from Detroit, Michigan. My question to you is, your recent Facebook note that went extremely viral, you declared that you all at Facebook, the most important thing that you all at Facebook could do is develop a social structure to allow the community to develop this global community that works for everyone. My question to you is, do you believe that in order to cultivate and encourage this community, that we must actively identify those that threaten the progress and the plans that we have in place?
Yeah, so this is a great question. So a few weeks ago, I wrote this letter about building global community, right? And one of the reasons why is because I think it's not a secret that we're at a time right now of a lot of division. And a lot of folks are worried about the direction that things are going in. Not just in this country, but around Europe, or around Asia, around the whole world. So I was wrestling with this question and talking to a lot of people at Facebook and outside about what is the role that we can play as a company in trying to help things move forward. So I did a lot of reading and talked to a lot of folks, and took a step back and realized that if you look at the really broad arc of human history, right? So hundreds and thousands of years, right? Human history is kind of the story of how people have learned to come together in ever larger groups, right? Some from families to tribes to villages to cities to nations, in order to solve problems that we couldn't solve by ourselves. Right? And at each step along the way, that didn't automatically happen, right? So we needed to build different things to enable people to come together, right? And there are things like different kinds of communities to form, or media to distribute information so we can all learn about what's going on across the community, or even things like governments at different scales, right? A city government is different from a national government. And these are all things, we don't necessarily think about them as technology or infrastructure, but they are, right? These are tools that we've built as a civilization to make it so that we can get to the next level and solve different problems. And today, I think a lot of the biggest opportunities and problems that we face are not just ones that we can solve on a local level or a national level, but are things that we need to increasingly be able to come together as a world to solve. So, you think about things like global warming, or pandemic disease that starts in one place but can spread to others, or a civil war in Syria that creates a refugee crisis across other continents. That's not an issue that is confined to one place. These are global challenges, and the opportunities that we have as well to spread freedom, to end poverty, to grow economic prosperity around the world. And these are also things that are not just constrained to one place. So I think we're at this unique time in human history that, it's at each step along the way, it's, we've built these greater structures. And it's not like they replaced the ones that were there before. When we built nations, cities didn't go away. Cities got stronger, right? Families have gotten stronger and stronger as time has gone on. But I do think we're at a point in time now where, if you're worried about the direction that things are going in around the world, one of the big things that we can all think about are what are the pieces of infrastructure, like communities and media and governments and just different organizations and nonprofits that you can be a part of building that help people come together around the world, right? And not just in these smaller communities. And that's a thing that, when I think about Facebook, because we have this community all around the world, it's almost 2 billion people now. We clearly aren't going to solve the problems by ourselves, right? No company can do that, and I wasn't trying to say that we can, but I do believe that we have a responsibility to do our best to help build some of that infrastructure that helps people come together, starting at a local level and building up and building movements and doing good stuff, and eventually making a difference globally. So, yeah, I think we need to, getting back to the question, figure out what are going to be the problems on the way to doing that, and make sure that we systematically go build tools that empower people all around the world to go solve them and organize at a bigger level than has ever been done before. And that's a big theme of how I'm thinking about stuff. So I'm sure a lot of the questions that that you guys asked today will come back to these themes around building community, because I do think that's got to be one of the next big things that we do increasingly around the world over the next 5 to 10 years in order to make progress on a lot of issues.